Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves reaction. Today we have Reveries in the Crimson Beyond. This one had so many individual comments that I'm not going to be able to put any single one up, and also like hundreds of collective likes on all of those comments. So I know I have to get to this one. A few people said some other things too in addition to this one, but this was definitely the main request. So here I am. I'm going to be listening to this one today, and I guess without further ado, let's go! Ooh, okay, already heavy-handed. I didn't see any confirmation, but I assume this is from the same event as the last one for Forlova.
Since the last time that I saw your smile, what a perfect fit. The last piece have fallen into place.
Lots of neighboring keys in here. Lots of tension.
Like moonlight stroking your face.
I shift down to a minor there.
Come hold me near. Come dance with me in a rosy haze of yesterday.
This is beautiful.
Don't drift away, please. Keep me here in your warm embrace. I'll trade anything.
It's got that bitter sweetness to it.
For one more day.
Ooh. Okay. The note structure of this is a lot. Ooh, wait a minute.
Your dreams with scent of flowers and
A little pop R&B with that rhythm there.
Does it matter if it's true? It feels a lot more real when we
I haven't heard this sound in a while, like specifically these drums. This is not too commonly used in the 2020s.
Come hold me near.
Oh, that's nice.
Come dance with me in a rosy haze of yesterday. Reverie. Don't let me go in. Sanity means I have to hit the road.
The dissonance in this song is unreal. See, like, even right there, they're messing with things in this song. Oh, that was gorgeous. I don't think I've heard a song in recent memory that's been that bold with how aggressive to be on the dissonance of their chord and note structures. That was so dark. That was gorgeous, but like, whew, a lot all at once. All right, so this song is so melodically, harmonically dense that I am going to be getting into some more music theory stuff with this one. This is so perfect. It's so perfect for a character that's related to music heavily to have songs that are so musically dense and complex. There's so much going on here, and that's why I'm excited to talk about it, because it's rare I get to talk about stuff like this, but today we're going to get to visit the wonderful world of accidentals. For those who don't know what accidentals are, it's basically moving a note up or down on a scale to something that's not in the scale. It allows you to mess around with the dynamics in a song a little bit more, even more than you usually would by borrowing from like a neighboring key or something. It's a lot more complicated than that, and they're used very rarely because it's hard to do right, and they did it beautifully here, as strange as it is, by using something called an A-flat 7. I'll get into that, but I want to talk about something more first. These spots in the beginning where I was talking about how diminished those notes were, they were using these combinations of notes in the beginning that were major, minor, and then diminished, which are these ones. And then it goes to this one. And then it goes back to that first one. And then it goes to a diminished. And that's what they were doing in the very intro of this song and keeping that together. And what's really cool about this song being in the key of D is that the key of D is usually used for something a little bit more triumphant, but it can definitely have this like eeriness to it, this odd stillness that you just can't seem to get away from. And that's definitely the direction they went here by using those accidentals especially. But again, we'll get to that. I'm just kind of dangling that over your face, but we'll talk about that. And what's cool about the relationship of all these notes here is that if you were to play them all together, which is kind of hard for me to get my hand together, hold on. There it is. That is an E7 sus2, which is a very jazzy collective of notes, which will also tie into the relationship of accidentals because those are used in jazz a lot too. But basically, it's just neat having these notes specifically used. That collective is so intriguing to the ear, just based on the fact that you're getting a 3, and then a 4. So there's this separation as they're moving back and forth from that one to that one, back to this one to this one. It's just a nice, weirdly balanced sound. But what's really cool to me about this is that if you take out the E, just the E from that collective, you get a B minor. And that's a chord that everybody knows and is expecting in their ear. That's a very popular one. It's a famous chord, just like most of the other standard chords are. But if you add that one extra note in, that E, you get that suspended one, and it's just so weirdly jazzy. Again, it's just one note off from being something that you're expecting. It's like, if you're looking at this in a psychological way, if you're looking at the psychology of this being added specifically, I feel like that there's like a missing piece element in this song, and that might be for Lova. I don't know if that was at all what they were going for here, but that collective being a B minor and then becoming that suspended and then having that specific collective being what they go for is super neat. I want to reiterate that I don't think that they were thinking about it psychologically like that. I'm reading way too far into that, but that one missing E might be for Lova. That's really cool. Oh, there's so much more too. I haven't even gotten to the accidentals thing. I haven't explained why that's cool, because that is the thing that comes in later, that like music box thing that happens. We get this collection of notes that's that whole thing right there, that little bit. Oh, this is so neat because it's like, awesome, that's great. What the hell was that, you know? But this note should not be here. That A flat does not exist. It should not exist in this collection. That's the accidental. That's what makes this so intriguing. So if we were to start playing this song from that very top note and work our way down in the scale of D that the song is written in, we would get, and we're already past it. It's like we're down on that F sharp. We're not touching that A flat. Why is that in there? That's what accidentals are for. They're basically thrown in as little borrowed bits from other keys in order to make things spiced up a little bit. It's very jazzy. Like I mentioned, that's the whole tie back there. It's something that's utilized to change things up or add a new pathway for something else to connect inward. And that's where that A flat 7 I mentioned earlier comes in, because if you're doing an A flat 7, it's that, but that isn't that low in this case. It's up here on that next cluster, right next to that G sharp. So we're getting this nice lift to it, and it's just a little bit different. It's a variant of the same key and the same chord, but it's just up there. And the reason I bring up that specifically, that A flat 7, is because it might be, maybe, a tritone substitution. And I think that's cool with the whole A flat 7 potentially being a tritone substitution because of what tritones are musically and how they can change the structure of a song and make it sound a lot more crunchy. You're starting to affect the mood of the music by doing that. And a D7 is usually what you would go for in this key, which would be that. And you can kind of tell just from hearing those two together how similar they are. They're very close. They're just a little different, obviously, because they're different notes on the keyboard, but point being, it is a substitution for a reason. Or we're borrowing from the parallel minor again. Now, to be fair, the parallel minor thing is a lot more likely. The whole tritone substitution is kind of my crackhead theory of what that could be if they're going big brain with it. But likely they're just going, okay, well, let's do this substitution here with the parallel minor. That makes more sense to me because that is much more common. And this is very complex too in a different way, because to be able to pull this shit off, usually the one you would borrow would be B flat, because that's the note that would be in the parallel minor. But enharmonically, in certain cases musically, because of a bunch of music theory bullshit, sometimes that note works better. And the reason this is so complex is because of that confusion with enharmonics and what they are. Basically, it's just contextual. What would work to be able to get the notes that you want out of that next chord or next key you want to utilize, and how to blend those together well. So instead of doing something that doesn't really make sense like this, you hear how that doesn't make sense? That's because I put the B flat in there instead of the A flat with that whole... And now it feels right. You see how, like, again, contextual, it's very weird. And this is like big brain music shit. You know, like, this is above my skill level in music theory. In between all of this stuff, you did not see the minutes I had to do of research to figure this shit out. But this is the sort of shit that gets my brain going burr, and I have to share this with you. I'm not this good with music theory. I want to make that clear. But it's so fucking cool how music theory works, how it's like math but with music. It's just, I hate math but I love music. It's like two things that just don't gel well together in my brain, making a beautiful baby that I want to share with the world. That's music theory for me, and that's why this is so cool. There's so much of that. I did not anticipate that to be a thing, and I had to go learn why that's a thing, and now I know, and now all of you know, and that's how learning happens. It's so fucking cool, dude. And I haven't even gotten into the whole lyrical thing. Like, this got me so much more context on Frolova as a character and what she's probably been going through. I mean, damn, if we put all the music theory aside and just talk my theory of the lyrics, right? So I already learned a little bit. Apparently, I was pretty close with that last video and guessing what was going on in her life and her whole scenario there. This makes it a lot more clear. She lost everyone. Either that or one really fucking important person, and basically just kind of went haywire and started using her abilities for bad, even though she's a good person. But the song is like reflecting her dreams of wanting to be in that place again where she was with all these people that she loved before whatever happened. And I assume just everyone's dead. I don't know why, but that's the best thing you can guess out of a game like this, is that, whoops, everybody's dead, right? So my crackhead theory here is that she was a musician beforehand, right? And maybe this world, I don't know that much about Wuthering Waves, but I assume in this world, your skills can become powers in like a very literal way, or you can utilize them in that way. It's very fantasy that kind of fits in my mind, so I'm gonna roll with that. So maybe she was a musician and is using that skill for bad, basically kind of as revenge. She's utilizing these skills to be able to hopefully maybe get back to that point, to be able to permanently live in that current dream, that daydream that she's got. Like, I assume that this led to her basically going insane and deciding the only way I can be happy again is if I bring them back. And basically kind of, I don't know if any of you know the backstory of Mr. Freeze from Batman, but kind of that, where she's able to hopefully bring them back someday if the proper stars were to align, if she were to be able to manage to find a way, and is hoping that that will happen and is willing to do anything to become that and do whatever it takes to be that. And that's kind of what I was getting in the last one. I felt humanity in the last one. I feel humanity here so much stronger. I feel like there is still good in her. I feel like she was led astray at some point by that. Could be just her psychological state in that moment, just hoping that she could be able to revive these people that she lost without knowing any better, had become a villain, and still has humanity in her heart, still has a drive in her everyday life to do this sort of thing, even though it's not the right way to do it. And I feel like somebody in the story has got to be telling her like to fix her shit, because otherwise we wouldn't be getting these like kind of reflective sort of songs. And this song is very much that. It's got a lot of nostalgia packed in there. It's got a lot of that like eeriness. So like, there's so many ways that this song could go, but I'm feeling humanity in this composition. And I feel like there is some of that left. Like she has time to fix herself, and maybe she's finally waking up to that. Maybe this is her understanding that and realizing, oh shit, I've been wrong this whole time. Maybe she was taken advantage of in some way, like, and is now realizing, oops, I shouldn't have done that, and is coming to terms with that. And it's just a lot. She has a lot more deep on her character than I would have expected. Just based off those two songs, I'm piecing together this story of she's a villain not by choice, and is now kind of regretting the choices she's made, and is maybe trying to make right by those mistakes and helping out the good side for once. Maybe that's what's happening in the game. That wouldn't really be surprising to me, but that's what I'm getting from the song. But I think that's about all I gotta say on this video. This recording has been going on for about 35 minutes, albeit a lot of that was me fiddling around on the piano and figuring stuff out, because I learned that by ear, and that's a whole other, can of worms to unpack. So it took me a while, but I think I've got all my thoughts out. So let me know if you want me to get to something else from Wuthering Waves, because I know there were a few others that a lot of people were saying I should get to. Maybe there's something else entirely different. I don't know. Leave them down in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you just enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!